Hi, I'm James. Welcome to Slaying Sober, where we tell stories of addiction, recovery, and hope. Wherever you are on your sober journey, know that you do not stand alone. Today, I'm joined by Mark. Mark tells his story with courage and bravery about surviving abuse at the hands of Jeff Joffa Korf, the Collingwood superfan who was celebrated on national TV as the face of the Collingwood cheer squad. This story isn't just about what happened in that Flinders Street station toilet. It's about the drugs that numb the pain, the overdose that almost killed him, and the moment he decided to walk into a police station and say, "This happened to me." More than anything, it's about what recovery can become: love, community, joy, and the courage to dance in your own skin again. Please tread carefully with today's episode and enjoy this conversation with Mark. If this story lands for you, it would mean the world for me if you could follow Slaying Sober, hit subscribe, or share this episode on your social media or with someone who needs it. I am at Slaying Sober Pod on Instagram. That simple act helps these stories reach more people who think that they're alone. Thank you. A trigger warning: on Slaying Sober, we talk honestly about drug use, suicide, and the chaos that comes along with addiction, as well as recovery and hope. Please only listen if you feel it's safe to do so. Take care of yourself. G'day, Mark. Welcome to Slaying Sober. Thanks a heap for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure, mate. I saw you online and I've read a bit about your story, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with my listeners. It's got quite a bit of grit to it.
Yes, it is. That's it. Disclaimer, absolutely, yes.
Good man. We'll get into it in a minute. What
Brilliant.
I first want to know, Mark, is where did you grow up, and tell me about your life as a child before your teenage years.
So I grew up in inner Melbourne. I was born in Williamstown, and I started performing early. So when I was 7, I attended Johnny Young Talent School for singing and dancing for a couple of years. So I aced at dancing, singing, not so good. But after that, I thought, you know what? I can dance, but is it what I want to do? I was like, no. So I actually then attended drama school. So I went
Okay.
to drama school for 7 years, which is also in Williamstown, and I got some pretty good gigs out of it. Like I was in a couple of short films, some ads.
Really?
I was in Beauty and the Beast with Hugh Jackman when I was a kid, so that was brilliant. Right? That was awesome times. And it was pretty fun
Wow.
getting paid $1,000 a week as a kid for acting. Like I didn't say no to that. And
It
that was
must
after tax. That was great. Got really good memories from that.
it must be a real thrill to be on
It
stage
was
and
it was different. At first I was like, oh
yes.
God, I can't do it. But then I eased into it. You know what? I can. And I had a good few years doing that. So being a child actor is always rated to be. It's great. So I was probably indulged a bit, spoiled, yeah, but I had nothing but great memories of it. And I remember a
Very
lot of
good.
stuff. I have a strange memory. I can remember so many details, even going back like, what, 35, 40 years. My dad's like, how do you
Amazing.
know it all? I'm like, don't know. I just do. So yeah, I say the most random things, somebody just laughs. He doesn't remember stuff, but I do. So we always have a good
So
chuckle about that.
that was a generally a pretty happy sort of young
Yes.
childhood.
Yeah. It was
And then
great. My
and
family
then
was awesome.
and then what happened in your early teens?
Well, after I finished that part of my performing life, I just went to high school and settled in, but then started to feel a bit strange. So I thought, well, am I attracted to guys and girls or just guys? So I was like, you know what? Don't know. So it took a while to navigate it. And I
Yeah.
saw an ad in a newspaper called Beat, it's a magazine, like a street magazine. And it was
No,
just
well,
kind of
yeah.
like this, like a pre-internet chat room era. So the phone line you could call and connect with other like-minded teens who was trying to figure out who they are. So
Okay.
I gave that a shot, and it was random. You'd be connected to total strangers. So I
Yep.
made a new friend a couple of years older than me. It was great. But that's
Yeah.
where came across Jeff Korf, unfortunately. Initially, he lied about his age and name, but once we got chatting more, we took it offline and we became pretty good friends, even though he was a bit older. But he was more of like a big brother to me at the time, like navigating
So
how to come out, how to feel about it. So he was awesome in that sense. And this
yeah.
went on for months. We talked for months. So we
So
had
just
built
to
up a pretty good friendship.
confirm, for the clarity of this story, Jeff
Yeah,
Korf is also known as Joffa.
he sure
He's
is.
the guy that put the gold jacket on. He's an
Yeah.
infamous Collingwood supporter.
Hmm.
He's had a movie made about him. He's written a book.
He sure did.
and he's also a registered sex offender
He is,
and
yes,
has been charged and found guilty of penetration of a minor.
absolutely. And at this point in time, he was not Joffrey at that time, he was just Jeff. So that character
Yes.
emerged later. So when I knew him originally, there was no such thing as Joffa. So he was
Okay.
just a simple guy named Jeff.
So you knew him as Jeff,
Yep.
and you literally got connected to him through basically a queer support
On a
line.
random chat line. Yep. We were
Yep.
absolute strangers at the start. I didn't know from
Okay.
Bar Soap.
And
But then we took
was
it
he?
offline.
Yeah. So he was portraying to you that he was a queer individual.
Yes. Yeah, because he
Yeah.
was gay the first time we started talking, yes.
Okay. And he was. How old were you at this stage, Mark?
I was 15 in 1998 and he was about 38, 39 at the time.
Okay.
Initially, he said he was in his 20s and he confessed a bit later that he actually wasn't that age. So I was a bit bummed by that, but I still kept talking to him because we established
Okay.
a friendship at that point. So I still
So
trusted him in that sense.
yeah. And was it at that stage you hadn't met him? It was a
Yes.
platonic friendship,
That's all it was. Yeah.
and you saw him as what, a mentor in the
Like an older
in the
big
gay
brother type.
space?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. He actually has some good insights and general advice at the time, which I took on board. So I actually genuinely liked him at that point. He
Hmm.
was just amazing to talk to.
So you're a queer guy in the late 90s, and obviously support for I guess the
Yes.
confusion and confrontation that comes up with your identity and your sexuality as a young person. This was one of the
Non-existent
resources
then.
that was available
Yes.
to you.
It
Yeah.
was, yes. There wasn't much else at the time, so it was hard to navigate it. So it was difficult. It was a strange time.
I think particularly for youth as well,
Mm,
like I have, it's quite interesting that there's two things. A lot of addicts that I have interviewed are queer,
right, okay.
and also in the rooms that I happen to be a
Mm,
member of, a lot of people that are addicts are also survivors of sexual abuse.
yeah, you know what, that makes sense. That's awful to hear, but yeah, that correlates. Can
And
see
we
where that would come
know
from.
And we know that I was looking at some stats earlier that 1 in 6 boys have been sexually abused at some point in their life. And we also know that this can sometimes take 20 to 30 years
Yeah, we
till
can.
it either comes to the front of one's mind or that they feel comfortable with reporting
Yeah,
it or speaking about it openly.
I'm one of those people. So yeah, absolutely. Took me years to even tell in well, maybe what I reported 2023 officially, but happened in
Yes.
99. So that shows you the timeline of
Yeah.
not reporting officially till then. Yeah,
So
that's
tell us
a quarter of a century.
tell us a little bit more about how you and Jeff and your friendship developed and what then happened.
Awesome. So we took it offline. So we gave each other our home phone numbers. This is the landline days. There
Hmm.
was like, he offered, actually, a few months into it, he offered to buy me a mobile phone. I was like, if I want to buy one, I'll buy one. Thanks, mate. So
Yeah.
that's a no. But we kept chatting on a good old landline at the time. And
Yes.
after a few months, I felt more comfortable with him. So I tell him about how I was feeling at the time, how our school was. But he was a bit too interested in a friend that I had a crush on at the time. But I just took at
Yeah.
the time he was just taking an interest in my life. But I also asked him questions about his life. And he offered up free information about it all. So I truly felt comfortable with him.
Mm.
But then after I turned 16, he asked if I wanted to attend the footy with him. I was like,
Okay.
well, the team's playing, I don't care about. He was a Aussie Collingwood supporter, but I still agreed to go. He was like, well, why not? I mean, he seems
Yes.
really nice and he's keen to meet. So I'm like, this is awesome. So we
Yeah.
actually had what I thought was a really good day at the MCG in late 99. I'd only been 16 for a couple of weeks, but we had a
Hmm.
great day. Like, I felt genuinely comfortable with him. Then
Yes.
afterwards, we walked back to Flinders Street, still chatting away like we'd known each other for years. I
Hmm.
felt no danger at all. But
Yes.
when we got to the station, I said, oh, my train's about 10 minutes, but I need to go pee. So I went to the
Yep.
toilet up in the street and he actually followed me in. And as I was attempting to pee, that's when he assaulted me. So I just didn't see it coming till it hit me right in the face.
Did you think it was an opportunity for him to take advantage of you when you're in a vulnerable position?
Not straight away. I thought he was just wanting to pee at the same time. I thought, oh, cool, whatever. But then he was right next to me. And that's when I felt a bit off. And suddenly he put his penis out and then broke me a couple of times. And I was just like, well, what is happening here? I asked him, what are you doing? And he said, well, you're cute. I was like, nah, I have to go. So I actually managed to push him off me and I left the toilet, which is good. But as I was leaving, a stranger came in and the look he gave me, I'll never forget. He just gave me a smirk. So he'd seen what happened, but he assumed I would have been a willing participant in that. But
Mm.
actually, that was me being assaulted. So I just left and got on the first train I could and never saw Jeff in person again. It was
I'm
just,
so
I
sorry.
don't know how it happened even. I thought I was just going to pee literally, but no, he followed me straight
That
in. So he saw it as opportunity.
that's such a traumatic thing to happen.
It was just awful. I was 16, I just didn't know what to do. So I just got on the train and went home. I tried to
Do you
bear it
remember?
for a bit, but
Do you remember how you dealt with that in the subsequent days and weeks?
yes, I told my best friend at the time, who had already told that I was gay, and he knew I was talking to Jeff as a friend, and he
Yes.
urged me to go report to the police, but I didn't. And I'll never
Oh,
probably forgive myself for that. I should have listened to his advice, but I didn't. And I
yes.
just thought, you know what, I can't. This is too embarrassing. So I told no one but him at that point. And he was super concerned, but he understood why I didn't, but he also didn't support why I didn't
Yes.
report to authorities or my parents. I just wasn't ready at the time.
Yeah.
And after
Did you?
that, I started isolating from a few friends. I just because I don't know, something changed in me. I wasn't my former boppy self anymore.
Yeah. Did your friend
I was,
notice your changes
he did,
in your
yes.
personality?
A lot of people did, and they just thought I was just a bit of a flake at the time. But I never told the bulk of people till years later what happened. So they just thought I
Yeah.
just wasn't a good friend anymore. So that I burned a few bridges in that essence back then
Yeah.
because
I'm
I just
sorry about
wasn't
that.
ready to face up. Thank you.
And
It was a
so,
strange year.
so how did you find solace and after this period of time?
Well, what I thought after I named some friends, I thought, well, what am I going to do here? So I just obviously got into a bad crowd at that point. So I just still wasn't processing. So I just go out and party a bit too much. I just get into nightclubs and I was underage in gay nightclubs, but they let me in. So I just went in and party, took a fair bit of ecstasy and marijuana, danced all night, and pretty much acted like I wouldn't have a year before that at all. So I
Yeah.
completely changed my personality.
So drugs and alcohol then became part of your life.
It sure did, yeah. Because I
And
just
did they
wasn't ready to
make you
face
feel
up.
good at the time?
Initially, but afterwards, no. But I still went back for more.
Yeah.
That's the strange part about it. You know it's wrong, but you just don't care enough to even stop
Yes.
at all. So it was really strange couple of years when I look back.
Yep.
I was
And
kind
did
of like a
anyone,
bit reckless.
yeah, did anyone point out your behaviour or,
Yes,
yeah,
and I just shot them down because I still just wasn't
yes,
ready to face up to it. It's like nothing
yeah,
to see here, leave me alone. But they knew something was wrong, but they didn't know what.
mm,
That's what kicks me the most. I just wasn't open up at the time.
yeah. What about your sexuality? Did you come out to your family and friends
I
around that
did the
time?
year after, yes, but in '99,
Yes.
only a few people at school. And of course, that would have been another opportunity for me to say, hi, I'm gay, FY, this happened, but I still just didn't say it
Yeah.
to most of the
Yep.
people at all. I just buried it and tried to move on as best I could. But looking back, I was not dealing with it properly at all. Look,
Yeah.
I had a few, people that were like, what the hell? But other than that, I just kind of drowned that out too. Because I was also dealing with obviously what happened to me and also trying to come out pretty much at the same time. So it was complex, but most people were okay with it, even for that time.
Yep.
So no, I was not the typical gay kid at all. That's where people are like, you're
Okay.
what? You're gay? I'm like, and they're like, really? Like, yeah. So no, I actually confused a lot. I confused my parents. They were like, you
Yeah.
sure about that? I'm like, no, I am. Like, okay.
I'm pretty
They
sure.
don't ask, but they just didn't get it. It's like, okay, cool, but
Yeah.
wasn't obvious. Apparently not obvious enough. No, it was weird.
So this traumatic situation has
Yeah.
happened, when you've just turned 16.
Mm,
You've turned to partying,
yeah.
distraction, you've come out to your family. How did your 20s look?
Well, after I came out of school, I started dating someone who I probably shouldn't have. I was in a relationship for 2 years, and that was, again, I must have been seeking out the wrong people because that was just an awful relationship. Like, I had no right being in it, but I still stayed.
Yeah.
And that
Yes.
also, coupled with the mental health not dealing with Jeff at the time, it did not end well, and things started getting worse with him at the time because he just wasn't the
Yeah.
best person. I thought, well, just leave. Well, I can't. Why should I? But I should have left the relationship way before I
Mm,
did. And when it did
yeah.
end, that's when Jeff first started emerging in the media as well. So by
Okay.
that power combined, that's when I took a bit too much Valium and overdose. So
So you
I just didn't want to live
you
anymore.
so you realised that this guy that was on the TV with the gold jacket, getting a movie made about him, being on
There
the
he
footy
was.
show,
Yeah.
the front page of the paper,
Constant.
plastered everywhere,
Yeah.
is the perpetrator of your sexual abuse.
Sure was. As soon as I saw the face, my heart sank. I was like, how am I seeing him on TV? What is happening here? How's he in the papers? It was just, it was just disgusting. But at the time, I again suppressed it further down, and that little spiral continued.
When did you first start taking Valium?
That was 2001. But then by March 2002, I only just turned 19. I thought, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. I just can't deal with things. I did not deal with them in the best way at all.
Let's take a step back a little bit. So, when were you first prescribed Valium, or how did you go about first
2001
taking it?
from a
Yeah.
GP. So
Okay.
but I never told them why I was unstable. I just didn't said I'm not feeling good. I don't like life, and they prescribed that. And at first it was fine. It took me to the edge of it,
Yes.
but I never told the GP why I needed it in the first place. I wasn't open enough, which I
But you
should have been at the
found
time.
that it immediately helped with your
It did. Took some
ability to
edge.
cope with life on
Yes,
life's terms.
it did. Yes, up till it suddenly
And
didn't, then it didn't. Yeah,
yeah, and you started taking more and more of the
it
Valium as
did,
time went on.
and partying too much as well. Still, so by alcohol
Yes.
combined,
Yeah, right.
it just wasn't
So
good.
what so you came to a particular point of your life where depression had got the better of you?
It just snuck up. I thought it would have been a jolt, but it's just insidious over time. And then the relationship
Yeah.
ending was the final point. And I thought, oh, well, I can't
Mm.
go much lower than this. So I overdosed, and it's the biggest regret of my life is taking that many of Valium at once.
So tell
It's
me
just
about how
awful.
that looked in the day or so before, what you obviously felt really trapped and
I did, and I thought, well, there's nothing better for me in the future, so why even stick around? I thought, well, nobody's going to love you in that. You can't love yourself. You don't have a job. Like, why are you still here? And that
yeah.
got buried me that one night. So I drank a few beers and took too much Valium, and it was the most foolish thing I've ever done in my life.
Can you
I
remember
regret
how
that more than
many
not
you
recording.
took?
12,
Yeah.
and it starts
Yeah.
acting pretty quick.
Yeah.
I thought, what is wrong with you, Mark? And that's my thought, nah, stop it right now. So I'm so grateful I did call the ambulance, because
So
other than
you
that,
were able to call them?
I was,
Yeah.
yes. And they got around, and then after that, I fell unconscious and woke up in hospital 2 days later.
Oh, wow.
It was
So
brutal.
do you remember the ambos coming to your
Just,
bed? Yeah.
but that is it. I don't remember getting to the hospital. And I woke up with tubes down my throat. And I
I'm
just thought,
sorry.
what? At first, I thought, what, why am I here? And like, yeah, the pills. And then they had a psych come in and talk to me about it and ask why I did that. And I said, just didn't want to be here, but then I regretted it. And they said, well, it's
Yeah.
probably a good thing you called, but it's a pretty stupid thing to do. So I got a bit of tough love from the hospital, which is fine
Yeah.
because I probably deserved it because I was completely reckless.
What about the care that you then got from the medical fraternity in terms of psychological help
It was
and
great,
support?
yes. I did get
Yeah.
referred to a psych, which I went and saw for 2 months after that.
Mm.
And then I found a job and haven't looked back in that sense. So that was actually, I think it was a big tipping point. But
Yeah.
in a way, I'm not also sad that it happened because then I was able to change course.
Yes.
So as weird as it sounds, but I think I needed that wake up call. I
Yeah.
thought, like, you're only 19, like, what are you doing? Life
Yeah.
is not over. It was just beginning. So I just
Mm.
dust myself, got up and thought, you know what? Nah. And I changed everything about myself. So it was great.
And
And I
so
haven't
the
taken it since.
psychologist, amazing. That's so good.
He
So
was
the
great, yes.
psychologist helped you to deal with your past trauma?
And focus on why I'm still letting it stick to me so much, yes. And
Yeah.
then it came out that because I didn't report at the time and I didn't tell him much about it. And the psych was like, well, that'll do it because you're just bottling it up.
So you
But,
spoke
well,
to your
yeah,
psychologist.
yeah,
This whole event led to you speaking to your psychologist,
sure did.
telling them about this childhood sexual assault.
And not reporting it,
Okay.
yes.
And not
But I still
reporting it.
But I still chose not to report it at the time. I just wanted to move on in my
Yes.
life. I'm like, I'm working now, just focus, Mark, and get it
Mm.
back on track. And I did for a while, but then again, Jeff started popping up in the media again. He was at
Yes.
least I'd say every couple of months I'd see him somewhere.
Mm.
It's just like, but I just kept pushing that down again. I was working and happy, but I just also didn't want to talk about that part of my life. I
Yeah,
just wasn't
yeah.
quite ready enough to make an official about
Yeah.
it.
Well, and not
And
only are you having the flashback of the
hmm
physical
yeah,
event, but
hmm
it's a flash in front of you where it's
and then you're
being put
seeing,
on the.
yeah,
Mm.
and
Yeah, that
this went
must
on
be
for
really hard.
years. It was years this
Yeah.
went on for.
So, what happened when he, Jeff Korf, got found out?
So in 2005, a friend of someone else online and assaulted them. And during COVID, this victim went through some of his old MSN messages and started remembering when he was 15 what Jeff did to him. And he also recognized him in the media. So he went ahead and reported him. And then Jeff got charged for that. And that's what I saw
Is
in the
this
payback.
Alex case?
It is, yes.
Yes, that's
And then
very brave
it
of
was
him to come
awesome.
forward.
And that then got me thinking, well, why did I never do this before? Like, what the hell? So I thought, nah, that's it. I'm now in my 40s, time's up, buddy. So I also attended Melbourne Police Centre at Spence Street and just walked in and said, hi, I'd like to report historical assault against this person. And I showed them the article and their faces dropped, but they took me straight in. The good thing is I was believed immediately, and it was a
That's
great experience,
amazing.
big place. They took it super
Yes.
seriously. I was like, I haven't done this ever. They asked me why I waited. I just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But then I saw I got charged. I thought, wow, I'm not the only one who's done this too. At first, I
Mm.
thought maybe it was just me, perhaps. But then thinking back in my mind, I thought, surely not. And this was what, about 9 years after my case that he did this to Alex. So I
Yeah.
thought, you know what? How was he dormant for that long? I don't believe so. So I thought enough is
Yes.
enough. I'm not going to put up with this shit from this person. I'm not
Do you
scared of him now
believe
as
that
an
there are
adult.
other victims out there?
There are, yes. But some aren't
Yeah.
ready to come forward, which is perfectly fine because I've been that before.
Yeah.
It is a daunting process
I could
because you have to
imagine.
reveal a lot about yourself to the police.
Yeah. Well, I did a little bit of research for this conversation, and the harsh reality is Alex has come forward with bravery and vulnerability
Yeah,
and press charges, for being sexually penetrated when he was was he 15, I think, at
yeah,
the time. So Jeff Korf was found guilty of penetrating a minor
he was.
and was given a 12-month suspended sentence.
Yeah, and that's the kicker. It was a load of bullshit. Yeah, that's all
So
that
he
happened.
never spent a night in jail.
Nothing. He just got to waltz back up to Queensland like it never happened. And that gutted me. And that's all. No, I'm reporting you, buddy. Time is
Yeah,
up. It's a weird
that's
process to do it, but I'm glad I did. And it's not
now
the
my
first process
understanding
either.
is that he was allowed to walk away because of a character reference that was given to him, and it was a historical character reference
It was old, outdated.
from
Yeah,
outdated, and that the law has changed. There's a Joffers rule now
there is.
where you can't bring forward a character reference
Yeah,
from the past
exactly.
when they're unaware of the current
Absolutely.
situation and
It's
charges.
great. You
Yeah,
should Google Harrison James. Your reference ain't relevant. He's a legend. We're now friends too, and he got this
yeah,
kick-started. He's amazing.
yeah,
He's an
amazing.
absolute legend.
Well, hopefully there is in that case some justice in
Yes,
Alex and your bravery in coming forward and
there is. Yes,
sharing your trauma.
it's always worth it. And they couldn't press charges in my case because there wasn't quite enough evidence from that pre-digital world. But
Yes.
they did refer me to VOCAT, which is a Victim of Crime Assistance Tribunal, and they agreed to take on my case. And it took about 14 months for them to decide, but they came back saying, well, he couldn't be charged. However, and this is a magistrate from the magistrate's court, said that, well, yeah, he can't be charged, but we do believe this happened to you at the time. I received monetary compensation from the big government for this. So that
Yes.
was good being
Yep.
believed and acknowledged that something did happen, whilst he couldn't
Yeah.
prove it. But Jeff also didn't dispute those findings,
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Well,
which, yeah, funny that.
good on you for being so brave. How
Thank you.
does life look now for you, Mark? I see you, I understand
Yeah.
that this sort of trauma takes a long time to
It
heal.
does. It does,
And
yeah.
in our space, when we talk about addiction and recovery, we talk about recovery and not being
Yeah.
recovered. Tell us how your recovery looks now.
Look, it looks good. I was able to move past the bulk of it, and I'm married now to a fantastic person, and life is good.
Yeah.
However, from time to time, it does creep back in the back of your mind. I will admit
Yeah.
that. Like, it's never fully gone because I feel in a way he kind of stole the best teenage years of my life from doing that.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I do miss that part of me that never got to be the proper teen I was meant to be, but he's not ruling the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm still glad I spoke up about it, even though it was difficult putting your face out there because some people still are never going to like you for it. I get hate online for speaking up, but that's just from disgruntled footy supporters. So
Yeah.
people are people. So
Yes.
you can't
Yeah.
avoid it, but the bulk is positive, yes.
Well, you're only 43, Mark, so you've got a
Yes.
long life
Mm-hmm.
ahead of you
Sure
to
do.
really enjoy it. And
Absolutely.
I've
Yeah.
seen you online, mate. You seem to be making a good fist of it. You
I
seem to
do,
be having fun.
yes. People like I dance online in some daggy videos, yes. But there's a good reason that. And while I do it is because I've taken back my own body. So Jeff took it
Yeah.
from the past, and now I'm like, well, I've got it now, so flaunt it. I don't care because I'm taking back what was mine anyway. In
Yeah.
kind of like in my own weird way. Yeah.
Yes. It's something to empower
It
yourself.
is. Yeah. And I think it actually works with healing 100%.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
there's
it's
something
great.
even about the dancing and the
Yeah.
endorphins and all the
hmm
good things flowing
Yeah.
through your body.
And you know, after 2002, I never had Valium again after that.
Yeah,
I just haven't. I was like,
amazing.
no, it's just never gonna happen again. So I'm quite proud of myself in
Yes,
that sense. I
well
was like,
done.
that's a big no. It's like, no, I haven't touched it since, and I never will again.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
Mm.
once you go that deep, it's a line in
Once,
the sand
yeah.
moment, isn't it?
Well, once you wake up from a coma from drug overdose, no, you're not gonna go near that again. That
Yeah,
was that was just horrifying. I was
yeah,
mortified and horrified that I even got to that point because it wasn't who
mm,
I was, but clearly at that point it was who I was. So yeah,
yeah.
it
What
was
about?
strange.
We also talk about in recovery like a
Mm.
sense of community, and you've already touched on the fact there that you're also involved with other victims of
Yes,
sexual assault and
and yeah.
victims of Joffa that you've built in a community. How does that look for you outside of those relationships as well?
Good, because I also want people to know that obviously people can do this to you, but they're not going to win over your whole life. So I just want people to know
Yeah,
that, which is good.
yeah,
It's tough though, because some people don't want to talk about it, which
mm,
I totally get it. It
yep,
is daunting, but it's also ultimately worth it, if that makes sense.
yes,
Like it seems
yeah,
like it's the worst thing ever, and it probably is, but if you get some sort of justice out of it, it's just worth talking about it. Even though it does
yeah,
look like it's a long road, and it is a long road. It took me a quarter of a century.
yeah, yes,
So it's like my goal, and when you think about it, that is a big chunk of your life.
yeah,
So it's like 25
absolutely,
years. It is a weird time, but I'm glad I did it now and not wait
yes,
another 40 years. I thought, you know what, I just can't. And I've healed from that now, which is sensational, but it is daunting. Like going to the police and walking in saying this happened to me is a strange experience.
yeah,
Like it's because you've got to reveal all these things about your whole life. You have to give them a lot of personal details. It's like, it is tough, but would I take it back? No. And will I be quiet about it now? No, not at all. Even with the hate I get sometimes from
amazing.
people, it's still not going to stop me at all. It's just not.
Well,
I
you
found my
you
voice now,
sharing
so
your
yeah.
story, you sharing your story is very courageous
Thank you.
and it's very brave. And you know, by having these conversations, if we can
Yes,
help one person at a
it's
time, which
worth
is
it.
what I always bang on about, it's worth it.
Of
And
course it is. It's great.
I think that you sharing your story will help others to step forward. And I'm
I
sure
hope
that
so. Yes.
others, I'll leave your details in the show notes and whatnot, and I'm sure others can reach out to you if they feel like they need help
Absolutely. Yeah.
navigating this space.
If that can help a few people, brilliant.
Thank you for doing so, and I'll look forward
Thank you.
to staying in touch and watching your space, and I hope you
Brilliant.
continue to recover and to
I
flourish.
will. Yes, I absolutely will.
Thanks for joining me today, Mark. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Cheers, mate.
Anytime.
Awesome.